Please, save me. Please. Lee Jong-soo begged for his life, but Jinyak coldly snorted in response. Why should I? If you have a problem, take it to court with your lawyers. Please, no! I don't want to die. The tree trunk crushed Lee Jong-soo with tremendous pressure. A man who had committed a death-deserving act had died. As such, Jinyak felt no pangs of conscience. So long, you piece of... Even trash like you can be of use at a time like this. The half-hearted ones had all fled upwards. Time to start moving. Jinyak leapt toward the main body of the tree. Most of the tree's branches were busy absorbing nutrients. This was his chance. Of course, not all of the branches were idle. Accompanied by the sound of the wind, two tendrils aimed for Jinyak. If he got caught, he'd end up just like Lee Jong-soo, completely crushed and drained of all fluids. Jinyak tilted his body. Dodging is not difficult. The tree branches that cut through the air collided, the splintering fragments of wood. 35 degrees to the right. 22 degrees to the left. Calculating even the angles and directions. Just as he experienced in the game, there was not a single error. At the perfect timing, the branch that attacked Jinyak instead burrowed into the main body of the mangrove. Jinyak smirked. Right. Figuring out the exact trajectory to make it attack itself is the difficult part. The greed's mangrove let out a heavy groan. How can it be in such pain when it hardly feels any? Its bulk is just inconvenient. One would think it's about to catch fire from being doused in oil. Jinyak grabbed a splinter fallen on the ground. Hey, why don't you just hand over the tree orb without tiring each other out? This thing doesn't give any experience being event-specific. At best, it gets mentioned in the Hall of Fame. Instead of wasting effort in a fight to the death, it's better to just take what I want. The mangrove roared fiercely. I don't know you well, but I guess that means no. Got no choice then. With things as they are, it must be brought down. Jinyak pointed the sharp edge of the wood splinter forward. The greed's mangrove tree has activated the skill, blood-sucking vines. Dozens of tree branches shot out simultaneously. Even for someone as skilled as me, dodging all of them is impossible. But slightly altering their trajectory, that's doable. His eyes narrowing, Jinyak moved the wood splinter in his hand in tune with the incoming branches. Crack! A branch that grazed his cheek stuck into the ground on the opposite side. That was the beginning. A full-scale fight commenced. Holding a 30-centimeter wood splinter in a reverse grip, Jinyak took a step forward. The closer he got, the more intense the perceived speed of the attacks. There was no room for a single mistake in this tightrope walk of a battle. Jinyak parried or absorbed every attack. I have to get into the rhythm. He had to find his unique breathing pattern and align with it. No need to be scared. No reason to be afraid. It's something I've repeated many times before. He had closed in to within 1 meter. One leap was enough to delve inside the creature. He could feel the pulsing of the tree. Something resembling a human heart was visible through a knothole. That was the weak point. But just then, something rose from among the branches all at once. Butterflies. Thousands of butterflies emitting a blue glow, spreading sparkling dust as they flew through the air, creating a picturesque spectacle. Jinyak held his breath. Sleep butterflies. creatures that use sleep-inducing dust as a defense mechanism. Their effects are swift when inhaled, often leaving those unprepared defenseless. It's simple to counter, though. All you have to do is hold your breath. Jinyak took a deep breath and quickly plunged into the main body of the tree. Before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive awesome new content from this channel, or else. The wood splinter, rotating counterclockwise, pierced straight through the mangrove's heart. A tearing scream echoed. The tree branches shook wildly. Jinyak put even more strength into his grip. Soon the screaming stopped. The tree did not move any further. He had finally brought down the creature. Jinyak let out a long breath he had been holding. Sweat streamed down his face and his breathing was rough, and his heart was racing like crazy. Everything felt alive. Who would have thought the pattern, grinding, and timing I repetitively studied would be useful like this? He felt grateful for all the effort he had put in until now. That's when it came. You are the first to defeat the Greed's mangrove tree. A status window popped up with a congratulatory message. Oh, right. I was the world's first when I think about it. That means your feat will be recorded in the Hall of Fame starting tomorrow for 1 day. Please state your player name. Of course, this followed. What a ridiculous system, asking for personal information to be featured in the Hall of Fame. I have no name. Keep it all anonymous. Without hesitation, Jinyak replied. Revealing personal information was absolutely out of the question. Attention would be all over him if anyone found out about his former top player status. Unknown. Your face will be pixelated and your voice will be altered. The system did not allow complete anonymity. It's telling me to just settle for a hidden identity. Of course, there might be a way to deal with it later, but for now, in the early stages, it couldn't be helped. At least it's better than before. During the height of my teenage angst, I was featured in the Hall of Fame with a trench coat and a cigar in my mouth, muttering, "The sun sets," like some brooding anti-hero. Thank goodness it was a dying game. If it had been popular, I might have been eternally tormented. Just thinking about it made him want to kick his blanket 12 times more. Do as you like. With a click of his tongue, Jinyak rummaged through the now-dead tree. Something caught on his finger. A 1-centimeter green elixir. You have acquired the essence of the tree, Mogdon, wood elixir. Finally, the corners of Jinyak's mouth lifted. If each fruit from the tree could increase strength, agility, health, or magic by +3, then Mogdon added a full 12 bonus stats. Considering 3 points per level, it was as if he had gained 4 levels. Insane! Honestly, no item had a better cost-effective ratio, even in all the 50 floors. Jinyak popped the Mogdon he held in his palm into his mouth. Warm energy surged from his stomach. All right, should I check its effect? Jinyak activated his status window. Level 1, with 12 stat points. The strongest level 1 ever. There was no other way to put it. About an hour later, a message was posted in the Hall of Fame of Tower of Trials stating that for the first time someone had defeated the Greed's mangrove tree, with an added note that a related video would be uploaded shortly. An almost empty Korean server community board was suddenly swarmed by countless people. Crazy! Someone defeated that? No way, that tree. It could be defeated. I gave up after trying like 100 times back when I played this game like crazy. How skilled was that person to defeat it? Everyone else quit the damn game in less than a year. This one must have been grinding it to death for 11 years. He just got lucky. My brother is a former top player, and he said it can't be defeated with normal means. Agreed, thumbs up. The comments were exploding. Except for the first few comments, most expressed disbelief, saying I got lucky or that I cheated. But then, video uploaded. Wow. I'm speechless. Did he hack the game somehow? That movement isn't even human, is it? Look at him changing the trajectory with that piece of weed. I have nothing but admiration. Seriously crazy. I cleared the 7th floor, but I'm nothing compared to this. While the reactions varied, those who watched the video were unified in their amazement. Meanwhile, I'm director Park Ho-shik from Semiconductors. I can offer 10 billion won as a signing bonus and 100 million won every month. We can give you as much money as you want, so please contact us once you see this message. There were even pleading comments looking to partner up. Jinyak browsed through the community's posts, smacking his lips. Was it such a big deal? Of course, killing the Greed's mangrove at level 1 isn't easy, but in terms of feeling, it shouldn't be this surprising. Ah, well, other players have never played the latter half of the tower, so it might make sense. I keep forgetting not everyone thinks with my perspective, Jinyak sneered. But 1 billion, huh? Looking at the unreal amount, memories of the past surfaced. It had been a life struggling to get by. Eating once per meal had been a luxury, laid on rent all the time and starving for days to gather money for mukbang streams. If this offer had been made a day earlier, he would have accepted in a heartbeat. But now, whether it's 10 billion or 100 billion, he had no intention of sharing what he knew. It's not about the money. No, the most important thing right now is information. Monopoly. Jinyak searched National Museum of Korea on his phone, a large museum located in Yongsan-gu, Seoul. When he played the game, the Tower of Trials appeared, and the overflow of magic power spread throughout Seoul. It didn't have a significant effect, but one big change occurred. Artifacts outside the tower turned into sacred relics. Of course, they weren't real. They were replicas. In other words, a copy. The genuine relics with mythical powers were inside the tower. The most replicas can be found right here. A place filled with countless artifacts, the National Museum of Korea was essentially a treasure trove. The problem was, there were plenty of others aiming for it. Unlike the 7 mangrove trees that appeared in Seoul, there was only one National Museum of Korea. Undoubtedly, people aiming for relics would flock from every corner. And of course, among them, there were bound to be former high-level players. Time to get ready. Jinyak slipped his phone into his pocket. He had to move when all the visitors were gone at night. Jinyak stopped by the E-Mart located in Yongsan Station. There were items he needed to shop for before the sun set. Let's see. I've got Hanji paper that can be used for paper. He also put about 5 30-centimeter blades into the cart. Is this enough? It was a bit disappointing that knives were the only weapons available, but that would be the same for everyone else. At best, they might manage to get a kitchen knife or a hammer. Jinyak pushed his cart toward the checkout. Coincidentally, the TV on display was broadcasting breaking news about the Tower of Trials. The government is actively investigating the situation. The president convened all ministers, including the Minister of National Defense this afternoon. Experts from all fields have gathered, but no matter how many meetings were held, it was futile. Applying logic and reason to a supernatural phenomenon would yield nothing. Jinyuk looked out the window. He could see the sun setting behind the mountains. Day was ending, and night was approaching.